We grew up in a Christian cult that shaped the way we saw God, people, and even ourselves. Leaving our church wasn't easy, but it led us to something better: truth, freedom, and healing. The McMaster's Chronicles is a place where we tell our story, and hopefully a place for others who've walked through spiritual abuse to feel seen, understood, and not alone. We talk about abuse, recovery, rebuilding faith, and the messy, beautiful process of learning how to live again. You'll also find the everyday stuff: our dogs, cats, garden, and all the simple joys that remind us why life is worth rebuilding. This is the McMaster's Chronicles, our story of healing, honesty, and hope. Join us as we chronicle our life, because recovery is real, and so is redemption. To be honest with you, a majority of the people that are still in there have grown up in there.
Yeah.
So you have to face that, and there is not an easy solution. It is not a cakewalk. You have to confront what is being said about you from the pulpit. I'm a Jezebel. I don't love my husband. He'll never be respected in the kingdom of God if I don't have a child. I'm just like my abuser. You have to confront that, yes. But the part that matters the most is really like the loss of relationship.
Yeah. And
if you had a closer relationship with the leaders like you did, you actually have to see them for who they are for the first time. Actually confront, I loved you. I honored you. I gave you.
But it's not even...
I loved your family. I believed in what was given. I gave my years. I gave my time. I gave all these things in that hope.
You just have, for me, the main thing was I knew we weren't in a safe place.
Yeah.
That was it. I have kind of gone back and looked at things and realized more and more since I've left, but I knew this just couldn't go on anymore. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what our future holds. Even when I left, I was like, I just need time.
And that's what you said to them.
That's what I said. I had no plans for the future. I was just like, I need some time. But, if
I had longer to think about things.
Right. But if it's like the main thing is, you're in this place, you're going to continually go through a cycle of being oppressed, being beaten down, being wrong, being never making enough. But then they'll say
that's your fault.
Right. But you realize
you're
that
not supposed to be beaten down
right.
while they beat you down.
Right. But that's the thing, is that one thing I will say too is that for me, before leaving, what it took, so some of my family that is still in there would never allow anything negative to be said about any leaders in there or anything about the church. You couldn't ever say anything negative. So in our relationship, I would see how some of our family would just be completely shut down, and it just wasn't real relationship, real talk, real communication, because it was just like, you can't talk about that. Well, I wasn't going to do that in our relationship. But it still didn't mean that I was open necessarily to things being wrong in there. What it took was for me to just be like, okay, what is this a possibility that they are actually this way, that things are actually wrong, that I am not in a place that's really helping me walk with the Lord, that I'm not in a place that's going to help grow me up and grow my family. You have to kind of be willing to give yourself that little bit of openness to just reality, and not continue to use your default response and justification for everything.
And why it's so easy to use the thought response and justification, because we've all been there using it. Because to come face to face with it not being okay means that you have to walk through the pain.
Mm-hmm.
You're already walking through pain.
Right.
You need to know that you're already walking through pain. But that pain is alleviated by re-entering into the abuse cycle succumbing to the love bomb, seeking validation from people who hurt you. That is soothed, the future faking from the pulpit of you really are there. God really does have a call for this ministry.
Yeah.
God has a plan for your life, which he does, but they would have it be a different way.
Well, it's in there.
It's in there. It's got to be in there. The plan for your life is in there. And if you're out here, you're not walking in God's plan.
Right.
And there's a comfort in feeling like you are in an okay place. That's called cognitive dissonance, of like you suppress the uncomfortable to maintain the facade, to maintain that. But the time will come where it becomes too much. Too much will be required of you. And the fewer the people there are, the more will be required of you.
Mm-hmm. It's like, it comes to a point where they'll use anybody. Mm-hmm. Anybody that's there, whether it's appropriate or not, they will use you. Mm-hmm. And so...
the sick. Mm-hmm. The elderly. The elderly. The young. The too young. The too old.
It's really bad.
They use the sick, and
all while saying things like, we care for you, we want you to be healthy, we want you to do what's best for you, let me tell you what doctor you should go to, let me do this. I'm like giving you a sense of
that they do care,
but then at the same time running you into the ground. Mm-hmm. Running you into the ground either physically because of all the money and all that, financially, emotionally, like taking away your time for things. And if you have one little time here, one little time there, in your mind, you might think, oh, I have this is the good part. And then I have to work and whatever. No, like that's not it. Like, I don't know if that's clear, but like you might have one Saturday where you get to go do something, but then everything else during the week, you've been working 80 hours a week in order to be able to make money for them. And then you feel like they care for you and want you to have the time because they say they're happy for you that you had some time with your family or whatever. But like, really, you don't have time with your family. That's how it was for me. We would have a date night or a Saturday where we'd do something. And they're like, I'm so glad you have that time. But in reality, that was like the little tiny bit that we were able to carve out of all the time that we had. I think that it's important to know that there's no formula, there's no right way, there's no anything that you have to do in order to justify not being there anymore.
Yeah. Because you left the biblically right way.
Yeah, and still
left wrong.
And still to this day, they have not a single person in there has told me what I did wrong. Not a single person.
You first brought up concerns and problems when you saw them. Mm-hmm. And that was, like you said, not recounted, but like discarded as like either someone else's fault or
the way that
you're confused about it.
Yeah.
Or it's your fault. Or so that's what happened.
I need to move past it.
You went to the first pastor emeritus. You went with the pastor, the lead pastor, and they did not address your concerns. You came home and you were gaslit and you thought it was all your fault and that you were doing something wrong. Then you tried establishing a boundary and they crossed it and they said they said they were going to keep doing it. And then you're like, well, then you're not going to be my pastor. And then they said, you can't say that.
After, for decades, them saying, you can always, it's pastor by permission. You can choose at any time. But no, once you get, apparently in their minds, once you give them permission, you can never change that. That is like dying permission.
Really creepy.
That is very crazy.
Really creepy and really crazy and really not safe.
Yeah, no.
And so then they said, well, you can't decide, you can't do that, even though they said it's your choice all the time, but it's not really your choice.
It's really not. They literally exposed
that it's not really your choice.
It's not your choice.
And then you wrote a letter
explaining
everything. And then Matthew 18'd you back. And they said, this is not the way to do it.
and I
You have
explained
to
how
go
I followed Matthew 18.
Yeah. You wrote them back after the Matthew 18'd you, and you explained how you did actually follow Matthew 18, and then they didn't have anything to say after
Well,
that.
then they said I was just angry.
Oh, okay.
And then that they would talk, but we had to get together in person and talk. And I was like, right now, or I don't even know if I said right now, but I was like, no, we can talk via email or text or whatever. But the problem is they want to get me in person because they're a lot better at, like, they can gaslight you and confuse you a lot more in person than they can in written form. And so they don't want to talk to you in written form because you can call out all of their lies.
But also, you have natural affections toward them,
right? And they want to use that.
The
pastor emeritus even tried to get me to go meet with him at the very restaurant where I was when I got saved, like a very emotional, sentimental place where he wanted to use that emotion to get me, and I'm like, no, that's
so
crazy.
We left the most biblically right way we could leave, and we still left wrong.
According to them.
And so the point of us telling you this story is for you to know that do not be afraid of God disapproving of you leaving this kind of situation. He understands, he knows that what you're going through, and he actually, warns about wolves, and he actually says, woe to the shepherds who abuse his flock. And so he does not blame you, and I think it's important for you to know that you're not blamed. You're not in the wrong.
And I'm trying to say, if you're not going to listen to us, at least go to somebody not in that organization to just talk to.
And just because you have concerns doesn't mean you have hate.
Mm-mm.
Just because something's wrong and you say it's wrong doesn't mean you're hating. Just because you need to stand up for yourself and not accept bad behavior does not mean that you are a bad person. And you've been trained from infancy, in many cases, to suppress natural emotion, natural self-defense. You've been trained from infancy to not defend yourself, to feel guilty for saying something is wrong when it is wrong. And so that's why you need help in knowing that.
Yep.
You need to see how trapped you are. And it's not right to be trapped.
Mm-mm.
It's not right to be trapped. It's not right to be afraid. And then they have the audacity to say, why are you afraid of us? We've not done anything to make you afraid of us. After they destroy you and your entrails are all over Slack. Your entrails are all over Slack. And they literally destroy you on Slack. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why are you saying?
Why aren't you free to just come and talk to us?
Why aren't you free to speak? And
yeah.
Oh, why
and we're
are
not
you so
talking
quiet?
about just one
Why are you
time.
so quiet? Why are you so quiet? Because
years.
you're not safe. Because you're not a safe person. Because you've hurt me and you've hurt my family. That's why I don't talk to you. That's true. That's true. And it sucks that it's true, but it's true. Just because it is literally the most bizarre, out of left field reality that you wish you were not in. You wish you didn't grow up in a cult. You wish the people that you love and look up to and serve are actually honorable people. You wish that's true. The Bible talks about you desire, desiring what is good, desiring thinking on the good things, and you think on the good things, and you think of the good times. And to be honest with you, I don't I think there are that many good times. I really enjoyed being with my friends. Like, those are the good times. Okay. And like, you think of the good times and you miss those good times and you're like, how can I do this? How can I do this? But like, I'm saying all this stuff that's real because it is real and because what you're going through is real. And hopefully, we aren't just helping people that are in there. Hopefully, we're helping people who are in similar situations that we were in. And hopefully, there's not that many people, but I actually think
I think
there's
there's
a
a
lot
lot.
of people, and so, but we understand it, and I need you to know that God understands it.
Yeah. And honestly, like, if you would like to talk about this more directly, if there's any way that we can help you, if you want to have a conversation over the phone, in person, if you want to text or email or whatever, please feel free. Comment. You can email us at mcmasterschronicles@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Email us, and we would really be happy to hear from you and see how we can help you through this time. If you're realizing, hey, this is not good, I need to get out, but I'm stuck, my whole life's here, we'll at least be able to talk with you through it. But comment on our page. We ask that you subscribe. We're getting really close to 100 subscribers. That's our goal. We want to get up to 100 right now. And so we thank you for taking the time to listen to this. Hopefully it's been a blessing and a help to be able to illuminate some things. And anyway, we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.